Hello there, you're in Deb's kitchen again. We're cooking it up for the holiday. And my favorite thing about the holidays is sweets, sweets, sweets. So today I'm going to make the original Fantasy Fudge, which I've been using for years. And see that marshmallow cream there? The recipe's right on the back for you. So I'm basically going to be doubling it because we all like fudge, and when you make it in a pan like this, it's kind of thin. I want to make it thicker. Okay, I told you I was doubling this recipe, so while the original recipe's on there, on the marshmallow cream, we are going to double it. So I'm going to be putting 1.5 cup of butter, 6 cups of sugar. Yes, this is a fudge, people. Normally this is make 2 pounds of fudge. And then evaporated milk. I'm going to put 1 1/3 cup. And we are going to stir this over medium-high heat until it is totally dissolved and combined. And we have to stir this constantly. And I suggest you use a heavy saucepan because it has it's better for so that you won't burn things easily. It's heavy steel or heavy aluminum. So if you have a heavy pan, use that. Once you start making your fudge, it's going to go fast and you're going to have to attend to it constantly. So we want to prepare your 13 by 9 pan first, and you put some foil in there, preferably heavy duty. Leave it hanging over the edge because you want to pick it up easily. And you're going to spray it with a non-stick spray. So now once your fudge is cooking, you're going to be attending to it constantly. When it's done, you'll be ready to pour it in. Fudge is one of those things that you can't walk away from either. So it's almost, as you can see, the butter's almost melted. We are not going to start counting down until it starts bubbling. You can use a candy thermometer. I never have. I just went strictly by the instructions. Once it starts bubbling, I time it for 5 minutes, constantly stirring the bottom and also the sides to make sure that it's not going to scorch. So it's almost there now. And like I said, do not walk away from your fudge. And you can make you can use any kind of chocolate chips. We have semi-sweet. If you don't like semi-sweet, you can use milk chocolate, but it'll be sweeter. Or there's some butterscotch, white, peanut butter in. The sky's the limit. Whatever you want your fudge to be. Okay, we've been stirring this probably about 8 minutes, but I see the little bubbles towards the end getting ready to roll. So like I told you, once it's a rolling boil, that's when you set a timer for 5 minutes. And then, an interesting thing. You notice this heavy saucepan here? Does anybody recognize this? This is one of the saucepan. This is the original Instant Pot pressure cooker. I got this on my wedding day. And I have the top, but I don't use it for a pressure cooker because this is the old-fashioned one that freaked everybody out, and no one wanted to use a pressure cooker anymore because it had a lid and then it had a little steel toggle thingy that sat on top, and it would shake when the pressure was building. And I remember one time I was making some boiled eggs in here, and I walked out of the room, and all of a sudden I thought I heard a gunfire go off. It sounded like someone shot a gun. And when I came in here, on my ceiling, the pressure had built up and exploded. And there was boiled eggs all over the ceiling. And that was the last time I ever used this as a pressure cooker. And we used to do that, steam vegetables before that, but I don't know what happened. Ever since then, I was like freaked out. And it kind of took me some convincing to get an Instant Pot. And I'm sure a lot of you I've talked to a lot of people and they have qualms about getting it for that reason, but the Instant Pot is nothing like the old pressure cooker. And also, I'm going to be using these beat up spoons. I have some nice ones. These little teaspoons were given to me by my mom. They're little bendable, cheap aluminum. She had them all through her marriage, and she gave them to me, so I like to use them. My lucky charm. Okay, this is what you're looking for. It's at a rolling boil. And this point is very, very hot, so you can easily burn yourself. Okay, you gotta watch it because it'll boil over if you don't watch it. And this is piping hot, and it could seriously burn you. So I'm turning it down a little. As long as it's still boiling, rolling, keep it stirring constantly. You don't want to stop stirring it. See the little bubble coming up? You can move it off the stove a little if it gets too hot, and move it back on. That's what I do. But if you go 5 minutes exactly, I've never had to use a candy thermometer. It's always been fine. And some people don't like to use candy thermometers. I have one, but I do use it sometimes, but not for this recipe. Also, I've been hearing a lot of hype about microwave fudge made with condensed milk. And I was going to make that this year, but this has been a family tradition. So I'm making this. And I'm also going to try out the microwave fudge. So I might do a tutorial on that and we can compare them. Because a lot of people are, I was reading the comments on the posts that people posted, the microwave fudge. Everybody was saying, that's not fudge, that's basically refrigerated frosting. Because that has to stay refrigerated or it won't set. So we're counting down to 5 minutes. We'll be right back. Okay, it's getting ready. It's almost there. And then now we're going to add our chocolate chips. I'm using, I'm doubling the recipe. That's why I'm looking down here. But the recipe is actually on your Jet Puff Craft. That's what I always use. And I'm going to use chocolate chips for, calls for 2 cups. So I'm using 4 cups. But we need to take it off the heat now. And then we're going to add our chocolate chips, all of them. I'm stirring the chocolate until it's totally incorporated. Okay, we want our chocolate chips to be totally melted, so don't just pour, go to the next step until you see no bits in here. We have it off the heat now, so turn off your stove and we're going to get ready to add in, once the chocolate's melted, we add in everything else. Okay, look at it, it's nice and silky. I think we're ready for our marshmallow cream. And this is kind of the sticky part, literally, because it's sticky. But you have to get all this marshmallow cream in here. Usually it calls for 7 ounces, but I'm doubling it, so I got the 13 ounce. It's supposed to be 14, but it's going to work. Okay, we're almost, make sure you get every last yummy speck out. We have it all here. I was using a smaller spoon, but it was too short for this big tub. So now, beat, beat, beat. The last step is the walnuts and the vanilla, but this, basically you gotta beat it till it's all mixed up. Okay, I'm beating away, working on my muscles here. This is kind of, whew. Now I'm going to add the vanilla. Calls for 1 teaspoon, so I'm going to add 2. And get the good vanilla. Pure vanilla, not the fake stuff. You want quality ingredients when you're making candy. I use butter. You can use margarine, but no way. If you're going to bother to make fudge, make it right. See, it's getting nice and glossy with that vanilla. That's what you want to see. Glossy, shiny. Now we're going to add the nuts. I chopped my nuts. You can buy them chopped, but I like to chop them because I like them bigger. And I roasted my nuts I toasted them in the oven, so they're going to taste even more scrumptious. So add in your nuts. Okay, we're getting ready to pour it in. At this point, it's getting heavy. Ooh. So, I never, like I said, I haven't doubled it. This pan's kind of going to be heavy. But I want thick fudge this time, not thin. Ooh. So, look at that. Isn't that delicious? The favorite part to me is licking the pad. Okay, I got almost all of it out. And once this cools down a little bit, you can scrape the bowl and eat all that goodness. But here it is. You wanna, I usually swirl it so it can be even. And I'm gonna cut these in smaller pieces because it's gonna be really thick. Our fudge is done. We're gonna let it set. You can put more nuts on the top if you want, but we have enough nuts inside. And let it set for 2 hours. You can, once it gets a little cooler, if you want to speed it up, you can put it in the fridge for a little while. But it is basically done, and we'll come back when we get ready to cut it. Okay, our fudge is set. Be very careful taking it out. As you can see, this is too thick fudge. Normally when I don't double the recipe, it is thinner. And so I wanted to make it thick fudge, so I doubled it. So I was wanting to mention also that this is the original Fantasy Fudge recipe. The one that I showed you the bottle of the Jet Puff, they have revised it a little bit, and I had noticed that in the last couple of years. So I Googled the original recipe, and this is it. But you can certainly follow the recipe on the marshmallow, craft marshmallow. It'll come out just as good, but I just liked the old recipe better. So here it is. We're gonna cut it. You can use anything. Pizza cutter, one of these pastry thing, but I want to try the knife. I want to try to get clean. And we're going to cut them small because it's really thick and it's really rich. And you want to drag the knife through. Don't like pull it up. It'll allow for the fudge to have more clean cuts. Try to cut them evenly. As you can see, it's set up nice, firm. It is so creamy looking. Look at that. Now we have to try it, of course. My favorite is fudge with walnuts. Very easy to make. And everybody, when we have our annual party, goes for this fudge. John Fitch, I'm going to send you some fudge. Get ready, get better soon. So there you have it. Easy Fantasy Fudge. And it's very easy to make, as you saw from the demo. And if you follow the simple directions, you should be fine. If it doesn't set up right away, you could put it in the freezer for a few seconds, maybe 5-10 minutes. And if you like this video, don't forget, like and subscribe, share it with your friends. In the comments, make suggestions for other recipes you would like to see.